Hey, Fabulous! So welcome back to Paper Friday. For the second case for this week, we are going back to my home state of Texas. Specifically, we are going to a city by the name of Sullivan. Some of you may or may not have heard this case before. There is a very popular show called My 600-Pound Life. I actually got got a recommendation, a YouTube video recommendation about this case while watching on YouTube. So I definitely thought it was very interesting. Once you see the details of this case, you're definitely see why I chose it. And so that being said, I'm going to quit rambling, get it publicly known, and let's get it started. Mayra Elizabeth Rosales was born November 6, 1980. She had a younger sister by the name of Jamie Lee. Apparently, Mayra witnessed her father cheating on her mother. This apparently would cause basically like trauma, I guess, to her, and she would start overeating like to cope with her dad cheating on her mom. So Mayra would graduate from high school in 1998. She would then go on to community college to get a degree in criminal justice. She would then go on to San Antonio medical and dental assistant. She gets in 2003 to get her certification, which she wanted to get in 2004. She would apparently wind up getting married, actually. Doesn't give that husband's name, but apparently he would go missing allegedly due to involvement with the Mexican cartel. She would have ever get remarried to a man by the name of Bernie. And then, of course, she apparently, after this, she starts gaining, weight, a lot of weight, and winds up becoming bedridden because of how big she was at this time. And then it was said that she had suffered from a rare thyroid disease called myxedema. In 2008, apparently, like I said, remember Jamie, the younger sister that I mentioned in the beginning? She had 4 kids of her own, and I guess she needed help watching them. So even though Mayra was technically bedridden and too big to technically watch the kids and properly get around if something were to happen to said kids, she would leave Mayra essentially to watch these kids while she was out doing whatever. CPS, of course, found out about this, and they were like, no, you can't be doing this because she's too big to be watching these kids. So then they pretty much made them sign a safety plan, basically saying you're not going to do it again. And of course, Jamie didn't give a shit. She just kept on doing it. So on the fateful day of March 18th, 2008, the whole reason we're even covering this case is because apparently one of Jamie's 4 kids is Alicio Jr. That's how I'm saying his name. Basically, he was born September 9th, 2005. So he would have been about 2.5 at the time this occurs. Apparently, he didn't want to eat breakfast because it was around breakfast time. So his mom, Jamie, ends up hitting him with a hairbrush repeatedly. She then leaves with the oldest of the 4 kids. She leaves him apparently in bed. She leaves him with Mayra to essentially babysit the other 3. She comes back. He's in bed. Apparently, she notices that he isn't breathing properly. He's, of course, rushed to the hospital and sadly dies 2 days later. Of course, since Mayra technically was the last known adult that was seen with Alicio before he getting rushed to the hospital, she, of course, gets charged. But, of course, like I said, she was too big. So she pretty much gets put on house arrest instead of being put in jail like most people would. And then, of course, Jamie also gets arrested since you left them with Mayra, even though CPS really told you not to. You either signed a safety plan. Her bail is $50,000. Mayra's bail gets raised to $150,000. And at one point, it's even considered that Mayra actually lived in the courtroom instead of having to constantly transfer her back and forth because that's just how big she was. So, of course, police, they're also going to investigate the story on how this 2-year-old half-little boy just died suddenly. And then, of course, the story that they gave apparently was obviously not believable to them. And so they confront Mayra about this, and she says that she pretty much took the blame for Jamie, since Jamie apparently was the one who actually killed him. And I'm only confessing now because I guess Mayra apparently thought that now that one of her kids is dead, she would stop abusing the others. But apparently, even after Alicio died, she was still abusing the other 3 kids. So then, of course, Mayra pretty much says that she felt that she was going to die anyway, pretty much soon anyway, because she was overweight, and so her being overweight was going to kill her soon eventually. And I didn't want the kids being separated from their mom, even though they literally were being abused by her, because that's their mom. And so, both parents, Jamie and Alicio Sr., the dad, they wound up running away. They wound up running to Mexico. They wound up staying there for about 2.5 months before they were convinced to come back to the U.S. Jamie, of course, says that Alicio Sr. was involved in the cartel and that she was made to pretty much prostitute for him to make money. But they could never confirm that. So Mayra would actually go on to lose a good chunk of weight. She wound up going on to lose 700 pounds. Jamie was pleading guilty to the death of her son and only gets sentenced to 15 years for it. Mayra would end up divorcing the second husband that was only listed as Bernie, apparently accusing him of also being in the cartel and of raping a niece. Of course, we couldn't confirm if that was true, as I thought they would have said that. And she winds up getting married for a 3rd time in 2016. The kid's grandmother, so Mayra, Jamie's mother, she winds up taking custody of the surviving 3 kids. Mayra would actually sadly die on February 16, 2024, so just last year, and her official cause of death was ruled as a head injury. How exactly said head injury happened, it not specified, just said she's deceased. So Mayra sadly is no longer with us either. So yeah, that is the case of the half-ton killer. So like I said, if you knew Mayra or Jamie, definitely let me know your thoughts down below. If you're from the area, you definitely remember this case, definitely know down below. Or if there's any other cases involving an overweight person, I guess let me know down below, because that was really the only one I could find, and I was shocked that it actually happened. So with that being said, I cover fail females 2 times a week. Subscribe more fail females. I'll see you guys next one. Bye.
Stand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares. See me right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? Then will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored?